right, we're live, okay?
Okay.
Just so you know. And everybody, good evening, good afternoon. I'm not real sure where you are in the world, but right here in Grove City, Ohio, it is about 1 p.m. Ed and I were running a little late on both of our ends, and typically I'm that veteran where it is 15 minutes early is on time and 30 minutes early is actually being early. So we're going to be talking about insurance.
Yep.
Pop, it's showtime. Showtime. Guess who's back again? Oh, they don't know. Oh, they don't know. I bet they know as soon as we walk in. If you wanna know the real deal about the three, well, let me tell you, we're triple trouble, y'all. We're gonna bring you up to speed. Check it out. 'Cause I'm a specializer, rhyme reviser. Ain't selling out to advertisers. What you get is what you see, and you won't see me in the advertising.
And Ed was our first guest when we were doing all this off of a phone.
Yep.
And we did it out of the living room, and everything has evolved from there. And we're picking up steam, Ed. So we're back. We
Perfect.
told you that we would have you back.
Absolutely.
And we're back. And now we are live streaming, though, at Transcends Coffee.
Yep.
It's a little coffee shop here in Grove City, Ohio. If you haven't been to Transcends and you're here in Grove City, you need to come to Transcends. If you're in Columbus and you haven't been down here, come down to Transcends, see our friends down here. I don't know what you're having. What are you having?
I have a light roast in the mug, man. It's a good
light
way
roast?
to go.
All right, so we're going to be talking about insurance and what it can do for your company.
Yep.
What it cannot do for your company.
Yep.
How important it is for a lawn care, landscape, any kind of business.
Any business
to have insurance.
Yep. And
right?
how easy it is.
Right. And then we also are going to talk about kind of a mock-up of a insurance quote, some information that I had sent you, so the information is my information. Ed is a state licensed for the state of Ohio, insurance agent, not anywhere else. If you live out of the state of Ohio, I know that you're watching, please get a hold of Ed, because Ed can point you in the right direction and maybe even get you in contact with an affiliate or something like that, correct?
We have them. That's
All right.
absolutely right.
All right. So, see, it's like we've done this interview before.
I know, I was going to say, this feels pretty comfortable. We've done this.
It's just like we did this.
Yep.
All right, so the big questions is the insurance and what it can do for the company.
So what it can do for the company is keep your company running. Nobody wakes up thinking they're going to have a claim, but stuff happens, right?
Right.
So if you run into somebody with a mower, run into a kid with a mower, or just butcher somebody's lawn completely on accident, that's what our coverage can help you with. If somebody steals your equipment, shuts your business down because they just took your stuff, that's what our coverage can help with.
Right.
If there was a fire and your equipment is lost, again, that's what our coverage can help you with. And again, I cannot stress enough, for most lawn care companies, this is very cheap. We have a client right now, probably fits the mold of kind of the average guy, has a couple of mowers, does some snowplow business in the off season, and he's looking at about $560 for the entire year.
Right.
And it doesn't get a whole lot cheaper. $500 is minimum premium for most companies.
And $560 a year is about how much insurance, general liability insurance, is he carrying?
So that's $1 million for a single occurrence.
Okay.
And $2 million for the policy term.
And just so everybody understands that's listening and watching, that the $1 million policy in the state of Ohio is our minimum. And that's what you should carry for a lawn care, landscape, anybody inside the green industry. That's exactly what they require you to carry. And that's with no other perks or no tree care. You're not doing all that stuff, right?
If you're cutting trees down or you're actually doing fertilizer, it's a different ball game. I can't really give you an estimate on that one just because there's some variables that go into that.
Correct.
But if you're doing it, make sure you disclose it up front because it is a completely different ball game. But this is talking about lawn care and snow removal, which is most common for most lawn care.
Correct. Now, a lot of guys, they'll ask the question, I just started my business. I've only been in business for maybe 3 months. This is my first summer out. Should I have insurance? I mean, or should I be operating without insurance?
You should absolutely have insurance. You shouldn't do it because, again, you can lose your livelihood, and if you're not incorporated, you can lose all of your personal assets too on an accident.
Don't talk about the incorporated because that's a whole different show. So the insurance is the main thing that we have to stress for
Yep.
all new entrepreneurs.
Yep, this is no different than putting gasoline in the lawnmower.
Right.
You have to do it.
Now, as far as your quotes are concerned, the 560, that's really good. That's a great quote. How much do they vary when you add in the tree care or stuff like that?
It can vary greatly. The tree care is honestly because of the potential for a kind of a big boo-boo, right? If you go the wrong way with the tree, it lands on a car, or worse, it lands on a person. That's going to be a claim to really wrestle with. When it gets into the fertilizer, that's when we have a little bit more of a pollution concern, something like that. If something gets leaked or isn't applied properly or isn't disposed of properly, if your tank gets a leak in it, that's when we can have issues there. So it really runs the gambit when we step outside of just normal lawn care.
Right.
When we're inside of lawn care, it's really easy. It's liability. We're probably going to have a stopgap on there. You don't have to purchase that, but that's if you have employees.
But I just mow lawns. That's what.
And you're just
that's
you, right?
Yeah, I just mow lawns.
Yep.
And what can go wrong?
We're going to get a liability policy. That way, if you run over somebody's dog, or if you run over somebody's foot, or if you torch somebody's yard, any of those items, or if you strike somebody's vehicle with your lawnmower,
Throw a rock
and it goes through a window,
right?
Any of those items.
Okay.
If you you roll your lawnmower up into their landscaping.
Now, I guess here's the other question. Not I guess. I already know what they're asking. The other question is this general liability covering my equipment? Is this covering if my equipment's damaged, stolen, any of that stuff?
So that's when we would have property coverage, and that's what's called an inland marine form, or inland marine policy. And that's when we would say, okay, we have a lawnmower, it's $8,000. We're going to schedule that. We're going to have another lawnmower for $5,000. We're going to schedule that, and a couple of other pieces of miscellaneous equipment. So let's just say you had about $50,000 of total equipment that if it was stolen, burned down, lost somehow, and you needed $50,000 in return for all that equipment, you're going to expect to pay $650 a year for quite a few companies to insure that. So, a pretty small payment for the value.
All right. You already know how I am.
Yep.
So, and everybody that is listening or watching, they already know. But for the new listeners or the watchers, I keep it straight. I don't shoot around the bush.
Yep.
So you are talking 560 for the general liability, and then another 6 something for the.
If you had 50,000 of equipment.
Right.
Yep.
And so we're talking roughly about $1,300 a year, $1,400 a year.
Yeah, comes in
for the whole year.
Yep.
And you're covered.
And that's it. You're covered. Your equipment's covered.
Right. Now that's not with auto insurance, of course.
Right. Yeah. Auto insurance is a different animal.
That's total different ballgame. We're talking business insurance.
Yep.
Cover you as far as your business insurance. What are, this is exactly from one of the things, what is one of the worst scenarios that you have seen a lawn care or a plow guy or a landscaper, tree guy?
As far as actual, the tree guy, we've actually seen on a tree guy, in fact, I think it just finally closed, a person faked an injury. They were asked to come out and see how did this work. They knew the tree company was coming that day. They parked their vehicle right next to where the company was removing the tree. The group on the ground stopped, went and got the guy. The guy came out, wasn't very happy, refused to move the car, went back into his home, came out a few minutes later after they had started the saw back up, was good 10 yards away from the impact zone or anything, but tree came down and this guy flopped.
Right.
He went back. He was 10 yards away from being struck, but he still went back and acted like he was hit. And he sued, and the liability policy stepped up and they defended all of this. There was no cost out of the contractor. Obviously, the contractor had to step up and help in their defense, but they didn't have to pony up any dollars, and eventually the case was discharged. But you're talking tens of thousands of dollars of legal fees that this insurance policy paid for.
Right.
So that's one of the worst claims. We've seen others that are pretty, with the snowplow business, what we'll see there a lot of times are things covered by the snow and they get hit.
Here's one with the snow policies. A lot of guys are saying that if you have insurance, you're only liable once you remove the snow. You're liable then. Are you still liable as the contractor if you are contracted for the sidewalk out front and there's a slip and fall with the snow down versus the snow removed?
You're probably going to be into the property owner at that point. So if you're called, I come out, I'm shoveling away, and somebody's walking on the unfinished piece of the sidewalk, that's probably going to be on the property owner at that point.
All right. Okay. Because that's a big debate. Yeah. It's a huge debate. You guys heard it here first. It's probably on the property owner. You can't.
Now this is where the insurance is important.
Right.
You will get pulled into it.
Right.
Because when plaintiff's attorneys attack, it's just literally sue everybody and figure out who I can get money out of.
Now,
so you will get pulled into it, but your insurance policy will defend it.
Okay. And in this case, if you didn't have insurance, right now, if you got insurance, that would not cover the previous issue, correct?
Right.
It would only
so it's
cover
whatever
you
the
from
effective,
now
right.
into the future.
Yep.
Right? So let's make that very clear. Let me pick up this microphone. If you do not have insurance right now, and you get in a situation today with no insurance, when you call the insurance guy and you get insurance today after the incident, it does not cover for past issues. So it only covers you from now into the future. All right, sorry, because you already know how it is.
And keep in mind, it costs $3,000 to $5,000 to respond to a civil complaint.
Okay.
That's to pay an attorney to write a response. If you have the insurance policy, it would cover that. It would pay that cost.
What are some key things that an entrepreneur, a guy, Ed, you know how I came up in this.
Yep.
Ed's not only an insurance man, he's also a client. I service his property, but Ed's also a friend, and he has watched us build our business. What are the, I guess, common mistakes that a lot of guys make when buying insurance? What are some key things that they need to be looking at to an insurance agent or an insurance group, saying, this isn't the insurance company for me? You know what I mean?
So there's two things. One, they'll try to do it through their home and auto. They'll try to call just their personal and think that, I can just put this on my home, or because I already buy auto insurance, I don't need to tell them anything about the business, and that's not the case. The second part, oftentimes what you'll see guys do is they'll just skip buying the insurance. They don't see the value in it. You need to build this into your business plan, and you need to build this into what this isn't something to do later the right way once you have the money. This is part of starting it up. This is no different than buying the lawnmower. Right. You have to have this.
Right.
Throw in there.
You can. We're back on, but go ahead.
Keep in mind, guys, workers' comp, first off, is not covering the owners of the business. Second, is not health insurance. That is a huge thing that I see for single operator. They think workers' comp is covering them, and it will cover a doctor's visit or anything else. It is not going to cover any of that. If you don't have health insurance, doesn't mean you need to go buy it. That's your personal decision. But workers' comp is not going to take care of you.
Ed just keeps on. We were talking on the little break there, and the break was sponsored by Echo Power Tools and the UAG program. UAG membership is my affiliation with the UAG. I am a UAG member, and Echo Power Tools, thanks for everything that you have done, and thank you for what you're doing for OneLove Lawn here in Grove City, Ohio. Sierra and I are greatly honored to be part of the program. So we're here down at Transcends again.
Yep.
Haven't left, and enjoying coffee, Grove City, Ohio, talking insurance with Ed, and I'm going to start reading off some of these comments and some of these answers on some of these things here about insurance. And these are random selected things because they're random posts throughout all the social media platforms.
Yeah.
YouTube, Twitter, just crazy stuff, all right? So this guy, he's paying over $7,000 a year in insurance. And no incidences, no issues. His big thing is insurance is a ripoff. He wants to stop getting his insurance.
Yep. You know what'll happen?
What's that?
The day after he cancels his insurance, he'll have. Everybody's seen the farmers commercial, right? Where they have they'll cover that.
Right.
He'll have one. He won't just have a regular claim where he'll just kick himself. It will be something very hairy and very nasty, and it's going to cost a lot of money. Nobody wants to buy insurance. I don't want to buy insurance. I own an insurance agency.
Now, plow insurance and lawn care insurance, two entities, do they offer like a seasonal payment for the plow
So
to
we have
offset it?
So it's an annual premium. What they're going to do is we're going to take your gross annual receipts and we're going to take a percentage of it and put it in a plow, because it's usually off of revenue is how you're rated, and then we'll put the rest into lawn care. It's an annual premium. We have guys that will structure their payments to be basically to where they pay the policy up during the summertime. We'll have guys that'll wait to turn the policy on until March, but otherwise it's an annual policy.
Okay.
So
Now, you mentioned earlier in the conversation that you cover anything from even like burning the yard up. Like, so, you know, in June, August, a lot of guys, they encounter this in August. We get what we call heat strikes, and it's from running the mower during the heat of the day, and it will damage a yard.
if it is something that's a cause of your direct action, your policy is going to be able to respond to it.
Okay.
If it's something that is, it's been really dry conditions and the yard's just turning brown, then that's not going to be covered.
All right.
I don't care. Now, again, the policy, if somebody comes in and they're aggressive enough that they try to sue you, the policy will defend that. But the policy is not just going to take a claim and say, hey, yeah, your grass turned brown and
Right.
it's August and we're just going to write you a check. Well, that's just not going to happen. But if it's something that you did, then yeah, your policy will respond.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Do you have? Is it a big thing? Are you seeing a uptick in the lawn care landscape industry as far as that is concerned with us buying policies?
Yeah, so we're starting to see. It's actually funny. We have a few right now that are literally, they have everything they need, and they're telling us, give us 3 weeks and we'll buy it because we just don't want to pay the bill during the,
Right.
It's tough paying bills when you don't have cash coming in. So they're just waiting for the season to start up. But we have had more guys actually moving further into the process.
Right.
Because usually it's a more established guy that learned a hard lesson somewhere down the road, but they buy it because they have to.
Right. Now we got a guy, he's local. We got several different guys that are local inside of one of these platforms, Lawn. And Scott Van Dusen, how can he get a hold of you? He's a local guy. He is Grove City.
So he calls 614-450-1078. That's my direct line. He can also visit us. We're basically at the corner of Broadway and Park Street here. If everybody knows where the old Graders is or Capital City Cakes now, we're right behind there. Stop in. We'll take care of you. Got myself and a few other people that can handle it. So.
And if you're not local and you just have some questions or you need help being pointed in the right direction with maybe an affiliate or somebody that Ed knows in your area, get a hold of Ed. His tag is right there. Just hit the little tag and You'll be directed to his page, shoot him a message, and
Yep.
everything's good from there. So, Ed, I greatly appreciate all your time today.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. And this is one of many. It's one of 8 shows that we're going to be putting on. So the next show, we're going to be talking to a real estate agent.
Perfect.
Kim Wimlinger of
Yeah.
Barrett Group. We're going to be talking to her next week and about all that. Before I let you go, your company, for the local individuals, and maybe not even the locals, do you guys cater towards the veterans? Or are you pro-veteran?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty easy. We're pro-veteran because what we have is because of the veterans, right?
Okay. Right.
So we do the salute to service here in Grove City. We had the first one that you helped bail us out last year because the rain almost washed us out. It's nothing fancy. We just do a barbecue sandwich for you guys. But as many veterans want to show up, we'll provide you a free sandwich. We've got that one on June 22nd this year. Myself and about 8 other businesses located local to here in Grove City. Again, it's just a sandwich. It's nothing crazy, but it's saying thank you. Mm-hmm. It's for veterans, it's for police, it's for fire and EMS. We've got quite a few of my family has served. I did not have the medal to do that, but I have a tremendous amount of respect for those that have.
And this is why you need to run again for city council. So now I put
For
you
those
on the
that have
spot,
actually
man.
served.
Now I put you on the spot, man. So, hey, guys, greatly appreciate everyone joining us again today. I know this is going to get liked and shared and commented crazy. So, Ed, again, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
It's always good to see you, man.
You guys have a great day. One love.